Welcome, welcome everyone. And first of all, I really appreciated your time being here on Sunday. And on top of that, a holy day. And I know there's a lot of celebrations are taking place. And I really appreciate your time. And hopefully this session will be very informative. And you grab some information from the sessions and helps you and helps your son or daughter to make the right decision as you go through. Okay, so first of all, I want to make this session like very simple going on, not just like when I'm talking and then you're listening. Let's make it a little interactive. So that way, that your kids are there, please ask them to join there too. So that way it's more beneficial for them and then to see what's happening in sessions wise. And first of all, my name is Mr. Rama, and I'm a full-time teacher. I've been teaching almost, I forgot counting almost 17 years in the US. Taught at middle school, high school, college level, um, varieties of levels. And also I train teachers with the district right now. Right now, right now I'm working as a full-time teacher too. And a part of that, we do offer the tutoring services. And we have a lot of teachers and tutors work together to offer anywhere from K3 to college level, pretty much, all the subjects. And so that's what my introduction quickly. So today we're going to talk about a digital SAT. Okay, what is digital SAT? What is happening? What's changing basically? And also, how can I help my son or daughter? Or if you're a student, how can I prepare myself a little better way to get ready for this digital form of the SAT. Okay, so I'm gonna just before we start it, and we're gonna talk about it. A lot of information is there, and today's session is a general session. We can more interactive. If your son or daughter next to you, please ask them to go ahead and then grab a pen. I'll give you guys a minute or two, and then we can jump onto this session as well. Go grab a piece of paper and pen, and we will keep you interacted as well. Okay. Because the reason behind is it's important to know how to prepare for these. Okay. Not only the knowing the test and how to prepare for this test so that way you can get the best scores in this. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys the 30 seconds. If your son or daughter is next to you, please have them grab a piece of paper and pencil or pen, and then we can go. Okay. So the digital SAT, we'll come back to that in a minute. So the digital SAT, for example, if so far all the SATs, the SATs, all these tests are, took place on a paper copy. Because as a school district in schools, we provide those tests to the school, the students, and then they kind of like they get through that scores, and we'll go over that one. Okay, so first of all, what is this SAT or the PSAT? Is if your students or students there, just ask them to put them in the chat box. What does they think? What is this SAT or the digital SAT? What is the use of SAT? Let's make a simple question. What's the use of SAT? Can you put them in the chat box? If you guys are kids out there, put it in the chat box, please. What's the SAT? And then there is no wrong answer, there is no right answer, okay? And all of them are right answer. We'll take them. Okay, put them in the chat box, please. I really like it that you're using that. Hmm, nice, nice, excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hmm, yes, excellent. You can use the chat box. I see a lot of answers that's coming up. Standardized assessment, very good, very good. And college, getting ready for the colleges and getting scholarship. Yes, you guys are 100% correct. That is the point of the SAT. And a metric used for the college test, you aptitude on certain subjects. That's correct. Okay, so that is correct. Exactly, that is the 100% true. Like this SAT, it's basically a standardized test. Standardized means itself, it's a one, it's unique for everyone. Okay, so why? So why it has to be unique for everyone? And let's talk about it quickly. Why this is the SAT is important to us. And for example, if you look at it, we have almost like 25,000 schools, high schools in the US. 25,000. Just imagine I have my school. In our district, we have a lot of schools, and then city, and also the state, and then all over the U.S. There are so many, high schools in the U.S. itself. So when it comes to the schools, class to class, teacher to teachers, there is a variance. Like, say, if your kids are there, you guys tell like, oh yeah, this teacher is super easy. You get a super A, A is super easy, and then and this teacher is super difficult. I can't get an A in this class. Same thing. Some schools are difficult. Oh, this school is way difficult, hard, and this school is super easy. You can get it super easy. So there is a lot of variance in the grading system. And that's where the standardized test will come to place because this is doesn't vary anyway. If you studied well, and you will get a good score. And that is standardized for the entire US and also the internationally. And that's one of the reasons is SAT is going to be a good point of uh, place where we can check where the students are and how can we help them as well too. Okay, so and as you go through, and there is like almost 55% of the students in a graduate with A in average, basically. Okay, and also 1.7 million scores, and obviously it is going to help you to be strengthen your application. Okay, so again, as we talk, grades are not consistent, schools are not consistent, and how, if I'm a college, how do I know this student is capable or this student is not, or he can continue, complete this high school college or not? So those are the really good, important plays where we can see this digital, SAT or the PSAT, all these will help you. Okay. Now, second thing, let's talk about again, as you guys are mentioning to that out as well, why it is important. And we can definitely look into that point too. Like, for example, in high school in the US, basically, in the middle school is the 6 to 9 middle school. And then you have the high school, or 6 to 8, sorry, 9 to 12. Okay. So in the 9 to 12, when you started with the high school, you have a couple of things you need to work out. So one is GPA, which is grade point average, and also your college application, and your SAT or ACT scores. Okay. So these are the three things. If you're a student, if you're in middle school or you're in high school, basically these are the things you're looking at. Middle school, maybe this is a good time to, we can talk about it one topic at a time, but let's look at it, it's a bigger picture, and then we can dive into in a smaller level too. Okay, so GPA, grade point average. So if you're high school, it's really important because that's where your GPA really matters for the college. And the second thing is SAT or ACT score that you're going to submit it to the college and college application. So you write an application to the college why you want to be part of their college and how are you going to support your education. All those things will the college application will come to that. So this is the basic idea, okay? And as you guys have put in the chat box, and I see as like, it is the test for the colleges gain scholarships. That is another important point for the SATs or the PSATs play major role. Scholarships. So scholarships is a really important thing because as up to the high school, and most of the schools are free unless you're going to a private school. The high up to high school it's free. It's a free education here. So when up to that point, we as a parents, we don't need to spend that much money, or obviously there's little food and all those things. But once you go to the college technically expensive. Okay, anywhere depends on in-state or out-state, anywhere from 40 to 60 thousand dollars per annum. That's what we're looking at. It depends on the college to college things. Again, the SAT or the PSAT, these scores will help you to get some scholarships that can bring your college expenses down. Good. All right, awesome. Excellent. Also, as an interactive, you can, sometimes I'm going to ask you to put a thumbs up on the screen. All right. So that way I know you guys are more actively listening to this, which is going to. Okay. So we have a general idea now. What is this SAT and, and why it is important? And we talk about that. And now what we're going to talk about, like, how, how are we taking this place? Now let's talk about what's changing. What is changing from? I know we have a paper digital SAT, and we did that already. But now when it comes to the digital SAT, what is changing and what is not changing? We can talk about that. So now let's get a chance and let's take a minute to put them in the chat box. What is digital SAT? Put it in the chat. What is digital SAT? What do you know? Again, I'm not judging your answers. Just keep going, okay? Okay, I'm cutting out. Okay. Does anybody, is everyone hear me clearly? Yes. Okay. 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 Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Online version, rather a paper. The SAT is not standardized anymore. Adapt to. Excellent. That's very good. That's very nice. Very nice. Online test taking. That's correct. Excellent. Beautiful. You guys have a lot of information already, which is I'm so impressed. You have a lot of information. Okay? That is really important. And having the knowledge, it's more important than you can kind of like see what you need to do and then how you can work it out there. Okay, so quickly before I just move on to the what is changing quickly, and you can see this, it's going through digital. Okay, we can talk about that too. So it's all digital. Digital means it's a computer basically. Okay, basically when you guys are going to the high school or your school or AASA testing or the state exam, STAR tests, or FSA. These all tests in school or the state is providing by digital. Okay. And when all these state exams are digital, well, when it comes to the standardized test, it is not digital or the paper copy. And there is some alignment difficulty. So that's one of the reasons it's moving towards the digital, which is basically you will be taking the test on a computer or the laptop or Chromebook or PC, whatever we call. Okay. So, yes. Um, yeah. So those are the important things that we're looking into when digital SAT. So when it comes to the digital SAT, and obviously even including the PSAT 8-9 and the MSPSAT or the NMSQT, it is also going through digital. And all of them right now from spring, everything is digital. Means everything you're going to take on a computer. Okay. And we can talk more as we go through and what's not changing. Let's talk about it, what's not changing, and then we can prepare about what are they changing itself. Okay. And also just want to quickly before we go over, and I have some of our English teachers and also some of our math teachers are here. I just want to, say hi to them. And then I really appreciate their time and just joining and then say hi to the parents. As you see, Miss Mia is here, and then Miss Kiana is here, Mr. Tar is here, Miss Jana here. There are a lot of other teachers that work with us and help a lot of students. And we are serving kids all over the U.S. So far, I'm not sure I forgot the numbers. I think like close to 200 students we helped for the past couple of years and keep going on, and which is really impressive. And because we target what they need help with, that's what we help them. But thank you guys. Thank you for being here. And Miss Kiana and Sia and Malaya. So these are all English teachers. They're here. I mean, like born and raised here, and then they're American teachers, so they know it exactly what they need to teach for these. So I'm fortunate to have those teachers also part of our team to help these students. Okay. And you guys are happy to stay, and I know you have a lot of things too, but you can stay here. I'm gonna just go over some what is not changing, and we can talk more as well. So let's talk about it. What's not changing? So again, as you mentioned too, it's the test to measure the knowledge, the skills that you need to get ready for the college. That's for sure. It's not changing. And for coming to the SAT, it's still on the 1600 Queen's scale. Okay, that is not changing. And what else? The test taking, like the the test you're gonna take at the test center or the school. Okay, that is also not changing. You're not taking the test at your home. Remember that, okay? Because when it was previously the parents asked me that, oh, is it digital? Can I take it at home? No, you're still taking in the school or this test center. And also, it connects to the scholarships. It is not changing, okay? This is still give you these scholarships and what do you need to know. And also it measures the knowledge and skills that you need to know. And basically whatever you learn in the school that connects to the college and those things, that is also not changing. Okay. And then if you look at it, the scores for the PSAT, and we can talk about it, PSAT. And if you guys are students, can you guys just put it in the chat box what grade level you are? Or your son or daughter, what grade they're going to? Can you just put them in the chat box? Just want to see what majority of the students are here, so that way I can tweak my discussion based on the majority. Okay. See a couple of middle school students. I see high school. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Excellent. Awesome. Thank you. So definitely, there's a variety of the students up there, so we can talk about a couple of things. Now, look at the scores. SAT is a 400 is the minimum, and then 1600 is the maximum score that you can get. That is also not changing. PSAT or the NMSQT. Okay, NMSQT is really important. It's called National Merit Scholarship Test, and we can take a one more session on that itself because that itself is really, really important piece that we can spend time, dive deep into. Okay, so today let's focus on the digital SAT and how do you prepare. And then we can, use one more day or sometime more deep dive into NMSQT because it's really, really important. If I can say really important means it's really, really important. That brings like entire college for free. That important. We can definitely take a one other time and then prepare and study for that. We can talk more about those. And the PSAT 8-9, and this is also another important one, especially since I have a couple of seventh and eighth graders. So we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes, and we can go over that in a few minutes too. So that is not changing. The scores are not. All of them are pretty much is the same. Okay. And what is changing? Let's look at what's changing, and then we can talk about a little, questions, activities we can do. So the test is changing is now it is 1 hour shorter, and also the passages are less wordy and less questions. And calculators are allowed entire math session, which is beautiful. And the scores, obviously, you can get the scores faster. Matter of fact, I think 2 days ago, the March SAT scores are already out. Starts quick. So that's a beautiful beauty with this test. You can get the scores faster. And obviously you can connect to the students with the relevant information that you can provide it to. Okay, so let's pause this one up too. If you guys have a questions, please put them in the chat box. And also, I want you guys, if the kids are there, go ahead and then try the question number 1 on your paper. Okay, let's keep them a little bit active. Again, don't worry if you don't know this answer, okay? No stress. And I just want to see the kids, involved in and why it is important to prepare it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. I see some answers the right way. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Good. Awesome. Excellent. I see that like a lot of you guys are answering pretty fast, which is that is the key to be a successful in these tests. Okay. So success is basically, and I got a parent yesterday as we were talking to, how do you change your teaching style or coaching style, changing from paper-based to the digital? Okay. And I can answer this one confidently. It's only changing the format. It's from paper copy to digital copy. But what's not changing is content. The content is not changing. Okay? So if you are strong with what you're working in school and learning some techniques, you'll still get the same high scores. Okay? Remember that. It's not about the way you're taking the test. I know that does make a difference a little bit. But if you're strong on your subject content, that definitely helps you too. Okay, quickly, and as you guys are answering super good on this one, I'm gonna just quickly go over this question. And obviously, if I'm, in school, what we do is basically we expand, right? X plus Y times X plus Y, and 50, use formula, plus 2xy plus y squared, that's 50. And then replace x squared plus y squared is the 30 plus 2xy equals 50. And then 2xy is 20. And then xy is 10. This is how normally we do it in the school. But what we do here is we teach them the same concept, but we give some techniques, 50 minus 30 divided by 2, which is also 10. So knowing these techniques do help you to get a better score. Okay. So that's another quick way to get to access to these questions. Okay. Next, let's go back. We'll come back to a couple of more questions on the content wise, and which will help you guys to see what is important to. Okay. I know it's already told. Okay. Okay. Before I move forward, I know I speak, I'm talking a lot. Do you guys have any questions so far, whatever we did? Feel free to put it in the chat box. If you have any questions so far, what we did. No? Okay. All right then. Let's continue more. And then we talk about what's not changing and what is changing and all those things. Now, where do you take this test? Oh, there was one question: is the PCMT is optional? Okay. So the PSAT is basically preparing for SAT, right? So when you're preparing for SAT, that's what we call as a PSAT. But PSAT is optional in the sense it's up to you if you want to take it or not. But basically, it is helping you to get ready for the SAT. Because when you go to the college, you submit your scores and also your application, your essay, whatever you're writing. Okay. And you're not submitting your PSAT scores. So in that case, it's up to you. You want to take the PSAT or not. But what's the point of taking it? It helps you to get ready for the SAT. And also gives you a detailed score report, like where you need to work on. Okay, that's the plus point. Plus NMSQT. I told you we're gonna touch base one of those days, the NMSQT itself. That is PSAT or the NMSQT. Just basically both are same in 10th grade and or 11th grade, junior 11th grade, NMSQT. And that gives you pretty much, you know, you can get entire your coverage free. So in that terms, yes, PSAT is important. Okay. Hopefully I answered your question. But you can definitely ask me more questions. You guys have my number too, so we can talk more. Okay. Next, let's talk about how this test is designed. Because knowing the test is one thing, how it is designed, and that way you guys can prepare much better. And I know some of you guys already took it in March, And hopefully this one will help you. And then also in a few minutes, I'll tell you like how can we help you guys, and we can talk about that in a few minutes. So next thing is obviously all the testing will be taking place in a Blue Book. Okay, Blue Book is like basically a software, and a lot of parents are software people, so you guys know it. So the software application, you download it to your computer, and you take the test on that software itself. It is more secure, which means once you log in, it asks you for your credentials and all those things, and that way you guys can take care of the test point itself. Okay, so I think I do have some how it is Blue Book is going to look like. I just took a screenshot of that. So this is how it is going to look like on your computer. Okay, when you're ready for the test, and you sign in with your ticket from your school, and or you can sign in with a college account, college board. And if I'm like a teacher for us, we have an educator account. So if you want to, but otherwise, this is how you're going to sign in for your test yourself. Good, makes sense. That's the Blue Book app. Okay. Now, once you log into it, and then obviously you're going to take the test, and once you're done, you submit it. Before that, let's talk about quickly what is this test and what measures it, and then what is inside on those tests. Okay, so let's talk about it quickly. Let's see. Once you log into this test, and obviously you can take it on the computer, and you can allow to take a test on your computer, but school need to be let you take. Otherwise, school provides laptops, and as teachers, we provide you those Chromebooks or laptops. You can take them on. But if some schools, if they don't have the technology option, they can ask you to bring your own laptop. So you can download it before the test. You need to download that app to your computer and make sure it is totally charged. Okay, because that is really when you take the test, and make sure it is totally charged, because the charge has to be at least roughly 3 hours. It has to be, because test is only for 2 hours if you don't have any breaks. But if you're, sometimes you take a break in between. Yes, you can take a breaks, but I want to make sure the laptop is totally charged. But if you're bringing your own laptop, it's strongly suggest bring your charger too, and then you can get your scores faster on the app, or you can sign up with your phone number. We can get you that faster. And obviously, when it comes to the test, you have two sections. One is reading, and then math. And reading, writing is together, and then math is one section. So in this one, you can get a little breaks in between section one and section two. It's up to you. And so the breaks will be out there too. And some students, if your students are here, I mean, obviously you took your state exams before, either like the STAR test or the NJ, whatever the test is. So that tells you like what you have in the test itself. Okay. Now, like for example, there's a lot of options. There's the calculator part, equations, and strike through. Those test results are there too. Okay, so you can use those options to get maximum out of this course. Like for example, some of those questions you can cross it out your whatever the highlight is there, or you can cross out whatever your answers is not required. All those things you can use those shortcuts to make it screen bigger or smaller. So all these will help you. And once you're done with the test, you submit the test. That's where it concludes you that you're done with this test. Okay. So it's basically, this is the format of your digital SAT. Okay. That's the basic idea behind the digital SAT. Well, coming to the preparation. Okay. How are we going to prepare for this? Any questions before we start, before we move on to the how to prepare, and then how can we help you guys to prepare? Any questions on this one, or put a thumbs up on the screen if you got this. Good, 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 good. Very good. Good to go, good to go. But if you have a question, please put them in the chat box as well. Very good. Okay. All right. So let's go to the what's the pattern of the test, number of questions, method reading. Excellent. That's a good question. Then we can go all of that. Okay. So as you at the beginning, you guys mentioned that this test is adaptive test. So when it comes to the adaptive test means, obviously, it's, if you did the first question correctly, the next question will be a little bit difficult. But if you did the question not correctly, then it's going to lower the level and then give you the test. Okay. Now, as on the screen, if you can see, the reading section is 60 to 64 minutes estimated time. And there is two stages, or you can solve sections. In the first section is module one. It's around like a 25 questions and 2 to 3 pre-test questions itself, in about 30 minutes time. Okay. And then once based on your module, based on the first session, the second session will be decided. Okay. So what does that mean? So let's say you did this one really good, and then it's gonna choose you to the either higher difficulty level questions or the lower difficulty level questions. So that is the key. You take care of the first section really, really well. That will decide where you're gonna go. Okay. So that's the in between sessions, you may get a little few minutes of break if you take it to. Or if you don't want to take it, then you can continue to get it done. That is also be possible. And then second one is math section. Math section is also same. And then stage one, 20 questions and long like 30 minutes. Based on how you do this section, either you can go to higher difficulty questions or the lower difficulty. Okay. It's since it is an adaptive test, it's basically based on how the kids are performed. The questions will be change the difficulty level on it itself. Okay. And based on the how the kids are doing perform on the section one or the stage one. Does that make sense to you? Good. Awesome. Excellent. Okay. So let's go over, take a little break-wise, not a break, but again, let's ask the kids to answer one of these questions. Let's see if I can smaller. See if you can see this. Go ahead and then try this one. Your kids are there. Please try this question. That's okay. No problem. Yeah. Some of you guys are middle school and no, you don't know this question. That's okay. All right. And those guys are like, oh man, I don't know this because obviously PSAT 8, 9 will be lower level question. This is this from SAT level question. Okay. Good. That's okay. Okay. That's all right. If you don't want to put them in the groups, you can directly message to me. And this is how our sessions also takes place. Okay? Our sessions also very interactive. We ask the students to write on the screen, and we ask the students to question. We ask the students to type in the chat box. And this is how we teach also in our sessions too. So very interactive. And I mean, obviously today, because the parents are there, I'm talking so much, but otherwise kids are the one is like more work and then helping and then getting ready and studying all those things. Okay. Okay. I see some answers. Let's give it 30 more seconds. Thirty more seconds. And these are the questions. The reason behind the test is sometimes kids feel difficult or, knowing the content is the priority. Okay, learning the content is the important thing. Okay, so quickly, and I'm gonna just go over a couple of things as you guys are here to prepare for this test. This is also a part of how you can prepare for the test. Okay, now I'm gonna just pull out Desmos. Desmos is one of the calculators that will be provided in your test. So I'm gonna look at a sine x graph. If you look at the sine x graph, obviously all of you guys know you did it in your either algebra 2 or a little bit of pre-calculus. Sine x graph is going to be sine wave, and also I can write cos x graph. And you can see that cos x graph is also there. And this is where a lot of students like, oh, I know sine x graph is like sine k, like wave, and cos x is also wave. Even if I put as something squares up here, that doesn't make any changes here, it still be a wave curve. And this is where a lot of kids may think, we're adding these two, sine curve and cos curve. And when we, squares, square. So you can see that those two graphs are showing up like this, right? So if with that knowledge, maybe I may think like, okay, my answers may be all these top four. But one thing, it's really important when it comes to the sine squared theta, and if you add them together, sine squared theta plus cos squared theta, it's a 1. Okay, and we teach these techniques to the students in our classes. And obviously, this is a 1 is a constant function. So when it comes to the constant function, your graph is a simple straight line. Okay, so without looking at it, without knowing, without doing a bunch of work, if you know the concept, you know that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is 1, and you can definitely just simply ignore all and get through this. Okay, that's what we teach here. So we use these Desmos to make sure they understand the concept, and that way we can teach them what is happening through these graphs itself. Okay, and that is important thing. Next, good to go. All of you guys make sense, kind of. If I lost you some eighth graders, seventh graders, then please ignore. Okay, just want to take some example. Good. So when it comes to us, how do we prepare? I'm gonna just kind of give you what is our information is. Okay. So let me see if I can pull out one of our students. Every student and the parent and those who are joined or those who are go through us, and we do give them a portal. Portal is basically a place where you can get all these stuff one place, basically. So portal is basically a software you log in with your ID and password, and we send all the notes, calendar, everything will be in one place. Let's say, for example, I just use one of our students right now presently. His name is Ara. So I took his portal just to show you guys. So, after every class, we send some notes. So we have a communication with the parents, what's happening in the classes. And the calendar view, it seems like the student is taking a couple of sessions. Let me see. So the calendar will show up everything in one place for the students. So that way, uh, they can join these sessions. Let's say this PSAT session today, and it seems like he has another classes coming up. Like we have today's SAT classes today, and he's part of that. And then he can join the class right away like that. And also, if I can look at the weekly schedule, he's also taking some physics with one of our teacher, and also he's taking AP Cal with one of our teachers. So even though the different teachers are there, and all the schedule will come to one place, which is much easier for these students to manage and then make sure they can attend these classes. Okay, and also Another thing is the online resources. And we provide plenty of materials to the students, which is online, whatever the classes they take with us. Let's say if they're taking SAT, we can provide them some practice materials, practice tests, and very like we can give them lesson-wise practices because based on the whatever we teach, that's what we provide them for practice. So that is more individual instead of like throwing everything else out there. That's a good question. And the practice is not adaptive, that is for sure. And one thing what we do, and right here, we send these Google Forms and Google Forms so that way we can get the quick content-wise, how they're doing and all those things. And we can get that information too. And also study guide and we can ask the students to work out and send those questions to us so we can check their work as well. And then here, that way we can have that more work from the students itself. And plus, then there's attendance and notes. We send all the notes as a PDF documents to you guys, to the students and the parents. So that way they can access those notes at any time, and then they can go back and then review them whenever they need some more help or practice. Okay. And we do have another adaptive test portal. That's where we give them for the test point of view. But for the regular practice, they do work on the on the linear way. So you can see this like how to study these paragraphs, and you can see this like too. Okay? And that's how we provide these notes to them, and that way they can ask questions and all those things as well. But that's for the SAT practice wise. The same thing with the calculus or whatever. We follow the same structure. Very interesting. Okay. Now let's go back to the SAT question. Let's see. I see some questions on the test. In which grade SAT should be given, and then how many attempts can we do, and then outside school, how are their centers, and can you give them? Okay, so that's a good question. One more thing is the starting from PSAT 8-9. Okay, so if you look at the PSAT or the SAT 8-9, anywhere you're in the middle school, you can start getting ready for these tests. Taking this test in the middle school, it's really helpful because that way they do know what are the topics are tested on the test, which is give them a little bit more advantage. And the second thing, in some schools, placement, let's say if they're going to the high school and they want to take advanced math, these PSAT or 8-9 scores will be used towards that test. Okay. And that's one of the important reason a lot of the parents or a lot of the students, they take this test when they're in the middle school too. Okay. So that's a good time to start studying for the test. But frankly speaking, the SATs or the PSATs, it's a good time is like 10th grade onwards. 10th grade is a good time to start studying for them, preparing for them, because in the junior level, which is 11th grade, and I think in the October, you take these PSAT or NMSQT. This test is really important. It has a lot of scholarships out there. So that's attached to this test. So, and at the same time, you can take the SAT or the ACT, and you can submit those scores to the college. And you can take pretty much is like, I need to look at how many attempts. And a lot of the students, like in a year itself, there are like 5, 6 times that you can take them up there. But you can submit the best score that you have. And school fee wise, it depends on the school. Sometimes if a district is a Title I school, we have some like a coupons or some codes that the school district, the counselor gives you guys to the students. They can use that those coupons to probably reduce the price to probably $19 or something like that. Depends on the school district to school district. Otherwise, if you want to pay on your own and then take the test, I think around like $60 to $70. I'm not sure on the cost, but it should be on our website. We can check that there too. That is also you can take that test itself too. Okay. The set test centers is the anywhere is close to the any major cities, they do have them. Test centers if you want to take it in person, or you can do that as well. Okay. That's for the question. Okay. Any other questions for me? Please feel free to put them up there. I really want to, again, the the what do you call the intention behind these sessions is like passing this information to the parents. As if you know this information, then definitely we can see how we can help them. That is the main intention behind having these sessions going on. Parents know something, oh, yeah, this is coming up, so I can get these kids ready, or I can help somebody else out there too. But if you have any questions at any point of time, please don't hesitate to reach us, and we can give you that as that information too. Okay, another question on the chat. Does the PSAT scores affect SAT or the NMSQT scores? Affect in the sense, it's just like a PSAT is a practicing or the practice for the SAT, right? So when you take a PSAT, that helps you to see the patterns, and also the report gives you a detailed information what topics your son or daughter is good at, and what topics they scored low. And I think they charge like $10 or $15 to give you more detailed report. So you can always opt for those. Otherwise, just to give you the scores. But if you pay, I think it's $10 or $15, they give you the detailed report, like what questions they missed, what questions they did correctly. So all that information is also useful to for the SATs and all. But otherwise, that score is not going to affect any SAT or the NMSQT. Okay? That's a good question. And the next question I see here is what type of scholarships can be achieved through PSAT? And that is another topic we are going to take. And scholarships is a big thing. We have a lot of things. We'll definitely talk one of these days. That's another major topic. We can get you here too. Um, okay, next one. How many times can you take SAT? SAT, you can take pretty much as many times. Normally we say, but instead of like taking time to time and every time, but I strongly suggest you study one time and get a best score and get it over. So that's the main, that's the best way, because every time the kids take the test, it's more stress to them. They add a stress to them. So I rather say like, study well and get ready and you feel comfortable and take the test and get it done. Okay. That's the best way. I think you can take as many, pretty much as like 3, 4 times in a year. So easily you can, register for those. Okay. And the next question, do you have a negative marking? Nope, no negative marking. They took off this negative marking so many years ago. So, which is really good. It used to be negative marking, but no more negative marking, just like an opto test, just like a school test itself. Okay. Any other questions? You can unmute it yourself and talk, or you can put them in the chat box, and feel free to do that. Good. Let's see. And feel free to join us, okay? And in case if you haven't, been in our list, so please, you can call me whenever you get a chance or time. Please call me so we can, I can help you guys in person, like one-to-one. But I know it's just a group classes, and we want to make sure like everybody has something is taking place. Um, do you have a SAT prep package to prepare students? We do, and basically we have two groups, one for the PSAT sessions and one for the SAT ACT sessions. We have a really good instruction. They help with the both math and English. We'll make sure we get them ready, and also we do have a adopt to practice test also with us. We use them once the kids are ready, and then we can kind of like to go back, and then we give them those access to them once they're finished with the normal courses. Okay. Yes, we do. Please reach out to me. We can definitely help you with that as well. Um, what else? Well, it's time flies by already. It's like 1 hour, close to. So any other questions for me? Please, definitely please reach out to us and don't stress. And then again, I'm a parent, also a teacher, been teaching for so many years, a lot of white hair. So we can do that too. Um, yes, I can send you guys this recording. If you are not in our what I can call um, on the student portal, like those parents registered online, we added them to today's session, and all those students we are going to send that recording to, so that way you can join us. So I can send you that recording to those parents already registered through. Or, this information, we're not going to send any spam emails, especially as a teacher. I don't have that much time to send those, spam emails. Like we have a couple of students registered today, and for sure we can send these group. Uh, all these kids are registered. We can send those recording to them. But if you haven't registered, please do so. Or you can just, put your student email and those things. And so that way we can send you this recording as well too. But next, as we go through, I would like to do more topics like, NMSQT one concept and also what are the scholarships is important, and then how some of the questions have in the past, like I am on H1 or I'm on what are the scholarships for the H1 or what is the cost is going to be. So a lot of questions are there, and then definitely we can try to answer as much based on my knowledge. We can do that too. But if you haven't registered, please do so. And but if you have questions, please feel free to call me and we can help you guys. I know I have a session coming up in an hour next, but please let me know. Thank you guys, and you guys have a wonderful day. I hope at least you got to grab some information from today's session. But again, it's a general session. But if you need some help, please let me know. Okay, we can help you with that. More internship opportunities, yes, we can definitely do that. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. Awesome. If you want to talk to me a little bit, just to stay a little bit, but otherwise, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you for your time on this Sunday and happy holidays.